Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Venus sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Venus sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart, well, one way it may manifest is that you may easily be able to love and enjoy, which is Venus, some activities in general, and ones that may require physical strength, which is Mars. Now, let's say if you have your Mars in Scorpio as an example, those activities, maybe things that require physical strength, maybe ones that may seem, insurmountable to other people, or it could be, tied in with transformation or working with a lot of heavy, trash, refuse, as some examples. And it could also be, another way, these aspects can manifest in a natal chart is generally having the energy and the vitality, which is Mars, to make money and generate income, which is Venus. Now, let's say if Venus is in Aquarius as an example, money may be made, in astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology, innovation. It could be humanitarian or altruistic endeavors, as some examples. Now, another thing too about Venus sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart, it may also be expressed in easily valuing, which is Venus, really just taking action in general, which is Mars, about not hesitating or procrastinating if something needs to be done. It's just it's just about having that really being having that as a value system, part of your value system, and it's favorable for this. And now let's say, for example, if Mars is in Aries, taking action, may involve confronting someone, or something like an organization, whatever it may be, standing up for someone, expressing leadership prowess and ability, whether it could be initiative, showing enterprise, as some examples. It could be doing something Aries related, whether it could be doing something with welding or carpentry, or something with the military, as some examples. And another thing too is that you may Venus sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart may also be expressed as generally having the enthusiasm, which is Mars. It could be for artistic, which is Venus, artistic type activities, endeavors. And let's say if Venus is in Pisces as an example, that interest in art, more specifically maybe connected with fictional fantasy art. It may be abstract art. It could be paintings or drawings of the sea, or things that are mystical or connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, as some examples. Now, also too, if you have Venus sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart, the relationships, which is Venus, if there's arguments in them, which that's inevitable, may be more constructive, as opposed to acerbic. Mars, is about agitation, acrimony. But if you have the Venus sextile or trine Mars in the natal chart, naturally have a good relationship between the two planets. And if there's any disputes, they may be more inclined to be constructive, as say, like disagreeing without being disputatious. Mars and Sagittarius can be philosophical differences, matters over religion, publishing, advertising, expanding horizons, foreign travel, as some examples. Now, also too, these aspects may be auspicious as far as sex, which is Mars, how that goes in terms of being peaceful, tranquil, sensual, enjoyable, which is Venus. Now, if Mars is in Aquarius as an example, sex may be, there may be something unusual or unorthodox about about sexual, how you maybe it just simply could be how one has sex, or whether it's the preferences or tastes. you know um Mars in Gemini could be more sexual attraction to people that are very youthful, animated, vivacious. It could be those one or more of those people may actually have a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people again that are animated, vivacious, mercurial, loquacious, adaptable, and versatile, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that this could be favorable, I would say, for surgery, which is Mars on it could be on the throat, the neck, thyroid, kidneys, or lower back, which is Venus, in terms whether it's having the money or just simply the surgery going in a positive manner with little delays or distractions, or having surgery just simply being successful. And also too, I would say these aspects can be favorable and auspicious for having the money, which is Venus, to have surgery, which is Mars. Now, let's say if Mars is in Capricorn, as an example, surgery may, be on, could be connected with the knees, the bones, the joints, hamstrings, the gallbladder, as some examples. Now, it could also be where one may easily take action, which is Mars, in terms of matters that are connected with spending, buying and selling, which is Venus, when needed. Now, let's say if Venus is in Leo, as an example, spending may often be on entertainment needs. It could be games, board games. It may be things associated with sports. It could be expenses for children, as some examples. It could be, things that are tied in with one's performing just in general. Now, it could be also, if you have these aspects in a natal chart, it could be also about readily finding the courage, which is Mars, to stand up for, people you're in relationships with, and even, your significant, including your significant and important friends, which is Venus, in doing so when necessary. Now, let's say if Venus is in Taurus, as an example, one or more of those people may actually be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody the traits of the sign. It could be, those that are very, stolid, peaceful, persistent, patient, persevering, but may also be very, could be materialistic, stubborn, and obstinate as well. And also too, the talents and abilities, which is Venus, may be beneficial in matters with your sexual partners, which is Mars. And wonder, well, how can that be beneficial to them? Well, in terms of helping them out, as an example, if you have, say, Venus in Gemini, there may be certain talent or ability for manual dexterity, which can include working on doing auto or refrigeration mechanics, and that could be beneficial to a sexual partner, as an example, in terms of helping that person. It could be with a vehicle or refrigerator, as some examples. And also too, these aspects, I would say, can be advantageous in terms of generating income and doing something Mars related, whether it could be leadership or something with cutting instruments, surgery, sports. It may be things, it could even be really like combative sports, which can be, include, boxing, judo, wrestling, karate, or or even the volatile ones like football or sports as some examples. But I would say to Mars could be sports in general. So if you have Mars in Sagittarius, it could be doing something more specifically, with archery or darts, something that requires that target, or if you have Mars in Aquarius, it could be more of an unusual sport like underwater hockey, or whatever sport would be considered like, an unusual one. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.